Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful in some way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some light love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing what advice asexuals give to a younger asexual self. This is all coming up in today's video. So happy Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. If you didn't already know, July is Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, which I founded in 2017 when I published this awesome Asexual Perspectives book. As you can see, this is my own copy, which is a bit worn now because I read out of it quite a lot, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. So Asexual Perspectives is a book that answers pretty much every question you could possibly want to know the answer to if you're just discovering about asexuality. The good thing about this is it just doesn't give you textbook definitions of asexuality and the asexual spectrum. It actually shows you what the asexual spectrum's like in real life context in terms of love, life and sex. That's what's so good about it, because it's one thing to read a textbook definition, but you're like, how does that really apply to me in my life? And what would my life look like if I was asexual? Do you know what I mean? It can be hard to decide whether you fit on the asexual spectrum or not, especially if you're a grey asexual and you have grey areas. You know, you really need some help from other people to be able to decide for yourself. So this is what this book's all about. And I specifically made it so it's celebrating our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. So there's lots of different types of asexuals in this book. This is not the whole lot of asexuality spectrum. There are so many subcategories that are popping up all the time that not every asexual, there's only 47 in this book, you know, there's absolutely more than 47, I'm sure, definitions of different types of asexuals, but the 47, some of the 47 in here are the same, you know. So that, you know, you might get a heteromantic and another heteromantic, or an aromantic asexual, someone who doesn't experience romantic attraction or sexual attraction, that, you know, and so you might get some people that do cross over in defining the same or similar to each other. But like I said, there's so many subcategories, you know. Don't worry if I haven't included them all in here, and I'm sorry that I haven't, but it's just so huge, and I only want to get people who wanted to participate in the book to share their very personal secrets with you if they like, because if you like want to call it out, because, you know, and if they like, obviously, because they are sharing a lot of things about themselves to do with love, life and sex. This very personal stuff in this book that they've shared to help other asexuals, which I'm really, really happy about. So, you know, it is a very, very interesting read. It took me a year to write the book. Anyway, let's crack on with the show today, which you might have noticed is earlier. Last night I wasn't feeling well, unfortunately, but I'm back feeling much better today. And so I decided to do the stream earlier because I've got a lot of work that I need to do later on tonight. So that's why I'm streaming earlier. Plus, it gives other asexuals an opportunity to actually hear me live if they've got different working patterns or different sleeping patterns. So it's always good sometimes to do a show at different times to what I would usually do them at. So this is a really good question, a very interesting question. So yeah, if you were to look back at your life, what advice would you have given to a younger version of yourself in regard to asexuality? So this is Hannah Steinhardt's story. I don't have a whole lot of advice, but I would have steered myself to Asexuality Archives Glossary a couple of years sooner. I always had known I wasn't interested. It just took me a while to find a label that I was comfortable with. So yeah, so I think that's the thing. If you're asexual, you probably got an inkling somewhere along in your life that you're different to other people, that you don't feel about sex the way others feel about sex, that, you know, you don't have that innate need or desire or want for partnered sexual intercourse. I think that's, you know, the big telltale sign is that, you know, if you just know that you're not that interested or bothered about sex, and that you wouldn't be having it or thinking about it unless someone else usually instigated it, then that is a telltale sign that you are asexual. So it can take some time as well to find out where you fit on the asexuality spectrum. So don't get disheartened if it takes you some time. It's perfectly normal, and it's better to take your time than to rush these things. You're defining your whole self and life in that moment. But if you really need to change later on, if you think the definition you gave yourself is not the correct one, you can do that. Your life is your own. It's not up to someone else to dictate your life for you. Right, so let's go to the next person's. So, if you were to look back at your life, Molly, what advice would you have given to a younger version of yourself in regard to asexuality? Coming out is a process. Take time to get comfortable with yourself and your orientation before coming out. Yeah, I would say that's a very good idea. So I think with me personally, I was very weak in my asexuality years ago. When I first discovered asexuality, it took me 3 weeks to decide where I exactly fitted on the asexual spectrum that I was comfortable labeling myself as, not someone else. And it can take a while. And if you're weak when you tell others, they see it, they hear it in your voice. So I said to I told my parents, they were really understanding. They understand me more now. So hello to mum and dad, lots of love to them. And they understand me more now than ever before because of my asexuality, which I'm really, really happy about, And it did take me a while to get comfortable with like where I fit on the spectrum, because it's quite huge. I always knew I was heteromantic, attracted to romantic these guys, not attracted to women at all. And the first friend I told, so my parents were great about it. The first friend I told, though, they were just like, oh, but you're always talking about guys. You just haven't found the right one yet. And in part, I consider it it's not my fault they said that. They're responsible for their own thoughts and actions and words. And it took them a year to come to terms with it, right? So it's not my fault they're like that. But it's my fault that I wasn't more stronger at that point. I don't know if fault's the right word to use. You should never blame yourself for being who you are in that moment. I did the best I could do at the time. But if I was to turn the clock back myself, I would have been a lot more stronger, like I am now, about my asexuality. I would explain it and I would just be adamant. I wouldn't be saying I think I am asexual. It seems to fit me, I've just discovered it. I would be like, I am asexual. This is what it is. If you don't like it, lump it, basically. Do you know what I mean? So, I would be a lot more stronger. But I do think it's good if you can, find out where you fall on the spectrum and start getting comfortable. Like, start being in forums more if you find them helpful. Start being in asexual groups, ones that are supportive, Like, every group's different. Some groups aren't that supportive of certain orientations within asexuality. Some can be exclusionary. I try to think that my groups are very good. I mean, most people, even though they've got differences, still get along in the groups, even if they're different parts of the asexual spectrum, they have different views of opinions. It's kind of a lot of the time very pleasant, I think, to be in my groups. I don't get any nonsense in them usually. I mean, I've got me and my best friend Sam's admin of 3 of them. We don't stand for any nonsense in them, So I feel that they are nice. We don't talk about asexuality all the time. I do a lot of theme stuff to do with, sharing photographs and of your day and stuff like that. So I think it's good to focus on other things as well in the groups. It kind of makes you feel more normal in your asexuality when you're talking about everyday stuff, and it's just sharing your asexual lives as it happens. We're still, at the end of the day, human beings. We're still part of the human race. We're still part of the bigger world, even though we might think a lot of the time we wish we weren't, because we'd rather be focusing on other things than a lot of what's going on out there, especially at the moment. But it is what it is. And I think when you talk about other stuff more than asexuality, that you're more than just your definition, and you can see how asexuality is in real life context. Some asexuals have kids, take their kids to school. Some asexuals have jobs, some don't. some asexuals get very deeply affected by their sexual orientation when talking to others. Others have friends and family that are cool with it. So it's very, very interesting, you know, and it's very interesting to see all the different opinions about life in general. And so, you know, I think it's a good idea if you can talk to some asexuals who are supportive before you come out as asexual, just to get a lot more confident in your asexuality, just to kind of have the proof that there are other people like you that exist. And then if people are coming at you going blah 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 and having a go at you, you know, and not believing you, you've got that strength there. You like, well, I talk to asexuals online, I've got asexual friends, you know, you've already got that backup, your support network. And if you do come out to people and basically, excuse my language, the shit hits a van, then at least you've got the support there. Do you know what I mean? You've got people to go to. If you're telling people and you're going it alone, it's a lot harder for you to do that. But you must be strong. You must be like, your asexuality is non-negotiable. No one has the right to negotiate your sexuality or anything about you. You're your own person. You know, if someone's trying to tell you what to do with your life, then they aren't really living their own, in my opinion, you know, because if they're too bothered about what's going on in your life, it's like, well, why are you so bothered about mine? Why not get on with your own? You know, I'm getting on with mine, you know, the best way for me. So, you know what I mean? I think it's ludicrous that some people just like are so got such a bad attitude towards asexuality. It's like, we're not having sex. Why is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You know, I've been happily sex free 9 years this November. I mean, last time was October 2011, but I don't remember what date that was in October. But I know that I split with the ex of 5th of November, so I know, and we didn't have it in November, so I know that, you know, I've been sex free for 9 whole years in November, and it doesn't even seem that long ago, you know. It's crazy, and it's really good, you know. I much prefer the sex free life. Sex did absolutely nothing for me. It's not something that I'm interested in or want or need. I just need the kissing. I do love kissing. Kissing is my sex, basically. I love kissing. But everyone's different, you know. Everyone's different. Some asexuals don't mind having sex. They're sex positive. It physically does something for them. Or they just do it because they're like, well, I'm in a relationship with a sexual and I want to make them happy, so what the heck, you know? And others hate sex and don't ever want it. So there you go. Okay, Fiora's story. What, if you were to look back at your life, what advice would you have given to a younger version of yourself in regard to asexuality? I wouldn't have given myself any advice. My younger self never thought about such things, and I prefer it that way. I think it was good that I didn't realise I was asexual until college. That way I had some time to explore friendships / relationships and come to the realisation that I was ace through those. And I think that's really, really important, you know. I am glad that I tried sex, personally. I'm glad that I had it. I'm glad I didn't know that it's meant to hurt, or it can hurt if you have sexual intercourse for the first time. I'm really glad I didn't know that, because if I'd known that, I'd have been panicking and worried about it. You know, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was pressured into it the first time. But luckily the guy was really gentle and it didn't hurt. So, but I have read some articles since that say, oh, sex can hurt, it can make you bleed and all the rest of it, if you're female particularly. So I was really glad that I didn't have that experience. But if I'd have read up about it, I probably would have put me off for life just even trying it, you know, because who wants to go through pain and blood and stuff? It's disgusting. You know what I mean? Why would people want to do that? They would have to like really want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Unless I'm really not bothered about doing it in the first place, then it probably would have put me off. But having said that, then if the guy pressured me into it and I knew that it was going to hurt me, then I probably would have said no, and I probably would still be a virgin to this day. But I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I've had some sexual relationships in the past, because it's helped me to help you on this channel. And it can help me to help other people of different sexual orientations as well with their dating relationships. You know, I was in heterosexual relationships for half my life. And I think that's a good thing, in the sense I've got lots of experience. I'm not just an asexual who's talking from no experience. I'm talking from my experience now and my past experience. I think the past can actually lead us to the present and what we're meant to do, which is for me, it's to coach people in dating and relationships, you know. I mean, I've been online dating now since 2014, you know, so I don't just say stuff on this channel. I practice what I preach. Do you know what I mean? Every day I'm discovering stuff about myself. I'm growing and developing myself, and I'm in the dating relationship scene all the time, you know. And the reason I know that I can get a good relationship now in the future is because I've got good quality, very high quality friends, very high quality friends. And now I know what to look for in a partner because of those friendships. I know what my standards are. I know what I want in a relationship. I know what love feels like from a friendship point of view, which I didn't have before, you know. And when you get friendship love, it fills your cup up, you know. When you've got true people who you can trust, who'll be there for you a lifetime as much as they possibly can, then you just know what it's like, and you know that you could get it again, you know, in the form of whatever type of relationship you want. So I know now what to look for in healthy relationships. You know, of course there's still going to be people that deceive you. Of course there's still going to be people out there that, you know, that aren't true. But those people aren't all people, you know, and you have to realize that it's their problem, not yours. You know, it's horrible when they do that to you, but you just have to walk away in the end, however painful it might be, because it's better for you in the long term. But there are signs that you can recognize with people, but some of them are very manipulative. They cover it up. So I would say go by instincts a lot as well, you know. But I know, you know, my best asexual friend, my other best friend that I met through asexuality, you know, those two people are so honest, and I just know I can trust them, you know, with the way they speak to me, the way they talk. They're incredible human beings, you know. And so I'm very grateful and thankful for having them in life. I'm very grateful and thankful for the journey I've been through already in my life. And I think, you know, as long as you keep developing and growing yourself, you know, that's the main thing in life, you know. We can look back at our past and we can think, oh, well, I wish I did this, that, and the other. But everything happens as it meant to happen, you know. Everything I've been through in life is so I can help you. If I hadn't been through that stuff, I wouldn't be able to help you right now. I wouldn't be able to say that I've changed a lot over the years. That, you know, like, I reprogrammed my mind in 2012 to be happy being single. I couldn't actually be single years ago. The most I was single ever for was 6 months. And that was from the age of about, was it 14, 15 years old? I think 15, I think it was. Like, something like that. Or maybe it was 16. But basically, you know, like 14, 15, 16, I remember, especially 15 years upwards, I remember like having boyfriends, and I used to have one after the other, and I couldn't be on my own. But now I can, you know. I've been predominantly single for 9 years, you know, predominantly single. That's a long time, 9 years, you know. Yeah, I had a relationship last year, which didn't even last a month. And the good, you know, some people are like, oh, well, what happened there? It's like the person wasn't any good for me. You know, they had issues, and I wish them the best. I think everyone deserves love and happiness, but it is the way it is, you know. I don't wish them any harm. I wish them well in their life. I think everyone deserves love, you know. And they weren't asexual as well, you know, and that's okay. And then, you know, what else have I had? I've had one guy that I had one date with one night, another guy that I dated for 2 months. And yeah, I had in 2013, I had a relationship that didn't even last a month because he went off and had an affair with someone else and wanted me to have sex, you know. So, and I've dated a few guys in 2000, end of 2012 and 2013, you know, just dating. So I haven't had a long term. Oh, and there was one guy who was asexual that was about a month online. I never met him. That didn't work out, you know. So you know, I don't want short-term relationship. I want a long-term, but I will not stay with someone if I've made a mistake or think it's not right. I won't stay with someone who's wrong for me, you know. And I've learned that, you know. Years ago, I would have kept hanging on thinking, are they going to change, you know? But no, now I'm like, right, you're not for me. Maybe it'll hurt a bit because I get emotionally attached easily sometimes, a lot of the time. And I just get rid, in the most nicest way possible, because we can't be with a person who's right for us if we're with people who are wrong for us, and some people will lead you down the garden path, and some people just are different and just want different things, and that's okay, But I've had a few online Skype dates in the past as well. I haven't had any recently, but nowadays I'm all about building friendships with people, because there's no point in having a long-term relationship unless you're friends with someone for a very long time. So and I go out clubbing, I kiss some guys, and then, like, I know those guys because they're sexual, they all want sex. They're not going to be interested in a long-term relationship with me. Usually. Doesn't mean to say there's not going to be an exception that turns up to the rule, but usually they're not going to want to be in a long-term relationship, and I don't want sex. So we both get kissing and enjoy that in the moment, which I think's good. And then when the right person does show up in my life, then I'll just be kissing them. But I think, dating, relationships, it's all about exploring yourself, exploring your sexuality, exploring what you do and don't like. It's coming to terms with what you really want in a relationship and what you really are. Like some asexuals have fetishes. Maybe you should feel ashamed of your fetish, or maybe you just haven't explored it enough. I'm not into fetishes myself, but just because I'm not doesn't mean to say it's wrong. You should be free to express yourself however you want. Like, I'm not into BDSM. I don't like any of that stuff. But you should be free to explore your sexuality however you see fit. Because it's your life at the end of the day. And you should be living it to the very fullest that makes you feel alive. That's healthy for you and good for you. However that looks for you. You shouldn't be ashamed to be who you are. You shouldn't be closing yourself off to the world because you can't be who you truly are. It's important to be your true authentic self. So many people are not being their true authentic self. They are living other people's lives. And it's killing them inside. It dies their soul. And they just end up like a former version of themselves because they're so worried about what other people think all the time. And I know it's scary. I'm not saying I never think about what other people think, but I go on in spite of it, And I'm like, well, it's just the way I am, And I think that's what you've got to do. Looking back, I think everything happens for a reason as well. Like, a lot of my past is kind of like the trauma feeling is disappearing a lot of my past lately because I'm leaving it behind. I'm not leaving it behind in a way I can't help others, but I'm leaving it behind in a way that's not me anymore. It's not who I am anymore. I'm becoming more of my person now than the person I was back then. I'm leaving it. I'm letting it go. It's just going naturally. Like, I would usually have to force a lot of that to go. But now lately, as I'm moving forward in my life, it's slowly just the horror and the trauma of it slowly dissipating. And it's just been like coming like, well, shit happens, doesn't it? It was like years ago. That's it. There's nothing I can do about it. I was very brave. I was very courageous. And it just shows what a strong person I was, And I'm sure you've got moments where you look back in your own asexual life. It's not necessarily to do with asexuality, but you look back in your own life and you've got advice for yourself right now by looking back on your life, So sometimes when I'm doing this book, it's very focused on asexuality. And if you were to look back at a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give regards to yourself with asexuality? But you might find that, you look back at your life and you've got other advice for yourself. But in regards to my asexuality, in a way, I'm glad I didn't know I was asexual back then. In one way, it would have been easier if my life would have been far easier, and I wouldn't have been through a lot of the stuff I went through. I don't think if I found out I was asexual, but I think I would have struggled to have any relationship at all. And maybe I would have missed out on those moments, even though some of them were really not good. Not everything was bad. And I wouldn't have had all that experience. I wouldn't be sat here now able to help you. Steve Jobs has a quote. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, he has a quote that you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back. And that means that you can only see how you're meant to be in your life now by what happened previously. So I know that I can help asexuals and people who are looking for dating and relationships, because I've learned so much in my life. I've got so much life experience. I'm not just a textbook. I'm not just someone churning out something they've learned in a textbook or they've just become qualified for professionally, but they don't actually have a clue about what they're talking about. I'm someone who with lived experience, and I often find that's the best type of person to learn from, someone who's lived through it, lived through the nuances of stuff, lived through the cracks of stuff, lived through the heartache, the pain, the ups, the downs, the joys. I find that's the best person to learn from. Someone who's true and authentic. Maybe they've not got a perfect life, but no one's got a perfect life. No, even all the people we look up to, pop stars, actors, actresses, no one's got a perfect life. Lots of famous people kill themselves. If their life was perfect, they wouldn't be going around killing themselves, would they? Which I don't want anyone to do, by the way. Get some help, some errands. Online 24/7, if you're in that situation. But what I'm saying is we always look and think, oh, this pop star, this actress, this person here, they got the perfect life. Look how many followers, look how many fans they've got. Look how popular they are. And then, and we can get swayed by the way things look, not by the way things actually are. You'd be surprised in psychology how many people go for what looks like, someone's really, really popular. They've got like 10,000 followers. Doesn't matter if they got 10,000 followers if they're not actually changing all their lives or a good proportion of it, does it? And really, truly making a difference. Do you know what I mean? If they're just posting pictures of their dog or pictures of food, you could argue they're not changing people's lives, but they could be. They could be posting pictures of food, and then people could be doing the recipes and start enjoying cooking. So I think everyone has a purpose, but no person's life is perfect. That's what I'm trying to say. So whatever happens to you in your life or whatever happened in your past, know that you're beautiful in this moment as you are with your uniqueness. People who are millionaires, their life's not perfect. Some of them get bored with their life. They're looking for the latest thing, the next thing. They might have a bad relationship, yet have stacked loads of money. They might have someone who's got illness in the family, despite having loads of money. No one's perfect. There is no perfect, right? And I really respect people who live their life in the moment in spite of any mental ill health problems, in spite of any disabilities, in spite of what other people may see weaknesses, but your strength. Asexuality is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's a strength to be different. It's harder to be different in this life. It's harder to be 1% of the population. It's harder in the sense that the sexualized world we live in revolves around people wanting, needing, liking sex and seeing it as a basis for relationships that aren't that are more than friendship. They don't see a relationship valid a lot of the time. Sex is not part of it, which simply isn't true. We break the rules. We break society's rules. That's why it's harder for us in general. But it's also easier for us in the sense that we are not swayed by sex. We're not going to get into relationships with someone based on how much sex they can give us, when really they're no good for us. Do you see what I mean? It's not going to happen. And we can see the light, the life in a completely different light that most others don't see. It's very rare and special to have that insight and that knowledge that other people don't, and they can't because they're not asexual. So always live your truth, and if you look back and you have any regrets in your life, don't regret, just appreciate the lesson and appreciate that everything happens for a reason. I know, one person whose husband, he just kept beating himself up about, figuratively speaking, but in his mind, because of his past. And he ended up in a mental health hospital because he couldn't let go of his past. But you have to forgive yourself. You have to know it's okay not to be perfect, because you're perfectly imperfect. And that's what people will love about you. People want raw and authentic these days. They don't want a blooming cover version of you, because that's not what they're going to get in a relationship or a friendship or life with you. So always be true to who you are. So let's move on now. Right. If you were to look back at your life, what advice would you have given to a younger version of yourself in regard to asexuality? And this is David's story. Confront is maybe the wrong word, but face it sooner. Realise that it's part of who you are, and don't wait for so long to find out about it or to embrace it. Now, I think that's very, very important, because, once you do find out you're asexual, some people, they are in denial. They're in denial for a very long time. They don't want to believe they're asexual because they don't want to feel like they're not normal. And it scares them. It scares them because some of them want to have sex, but they just can't. Some of them want to have those feelings. They want to fit in. They want to feel normal because they feel stressed and upset and in pain when they're not. But if it's who you truly are, you're running away from yourself and you're hiding from the truth of who you really are. So you need to be brave enough to face up sooner rather than later to who you really are. Because only when you're confident and comfortable. Confident is my new crossword between confident and comfortable. Confident and comfortable. Once you're confident and comfortable in and of yourself and your asexuality and whatever that means for you, you can then express yourself more freely and in the moment with others, with other people. Will some people get jealous? Yes, because they'll be like, God, I know I'm living a lie, but that person can express themselves. That person can get things that I can't because I'm not fully being me. So some people might get jealous. Some people, but you probably haven't thought of. Some people might feel, like uncomfortable with the situation, with you being confident and comfortable with who you are, but that's their problem. It's not your problem, right? So you need to be growing into who you really are. If you're asexual, wear it like a badge. Be blooming proud of it, Be proud that you're part of the 1% of the whole population. My God, it's so good to be different, isn't it? I mean, advertising doesn't work on us like sexuals, We think differently. We are different. We don't have that sexual energy. We're like, like a panting dog on heat, And so it's beautiful, it's beautiful. And someone one day will love you for who you are. Some people, multiple people love you for who you are, if they don't already, right? But you want people who accept you for who you are. Yes, if they're not asexual, they may be uncomfortable. There's a difference. You can get people who are just horrible about it, in which case you don't want those people around. If they're going to constantly be horrible, they're in your face and being nasty about it. If they're just uncomfortable with it, give them time to adjust, Just keep talking about it. Keep being you. If they're uncomfortable, it's not your problem at the end of the day. You could be going, oh, you're heterosexual. I'm uncomfortable with that. Because you might be uncomfortable with the fact that someone's heterosexual. Because they emit that sexual energy. Even if they talk about sexual stuff, they've got the sexual energy coming out their mouth. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Even if they're not aiming it towards you. You can feel it. It's like, oh man, do I really have to go in this energy space right now? But, I've got friends who are not asexual. I've got family that are definitely not asexual. And I love them to bits still, We're all different at the end of the day. Every life matters. When you see these things saying this life matters, that life matters, every life matters, no matter what sexual orientation you are, no matter what skin color you have, No matter what sexuality you are, gender you are, non-gender you are, every life matters, right? Everyone should be free to be who they were born to be, right? Who they were born to be, not who someone else wants to make them be, right? It's just like not who you are, you know? Some people are skinny, some people are larger, some people have freckles, some people don't, some people have blonde hair, some people have brown hair, some people have blue eyes. You know, we are who we are at the end of the day. You know, but the best thing to do is to own who you are. This is what David is saying. Own who you are. If you're asexual, own it. Be proud of it. Because if you're running away from your asexuality, and that's who you are, it's part of you, you're running away from yourself. Don't run away from who you are. Face who you are. Embrace who you are. Live every little thing about you. Good, bad, weakness, strengths. Change the things you need to change. Keep the things you can't. Embrace the things you can't change. Embrace the things that you don't want to change that other people wish you did. You know, it's not their life, it's your life. It is your life. You live it as you see fit. It's not up to someone else. You know, you're not going to be happy if you just lived everyone else's life and was the same look or same sexuality as everyone wished you be, and you're doing this and you do that. Just imagine your life would be a wreck. You'd be like, what, hundreds of thousands of millions of people on this planet would probably all have a different opinion about what you should do. And what do? Split yourself into little tiny pieces and shave yourself into the abyss? You know what I mean? It's unrealistic and it's ridiculous. Live your truth. The best people are those I see living their authentic truth. Like my best female friend is not asexual. And her best friend, other best friend, is a cougar, a sexual cougar. I'm an asexual cougar. So I like younger guys in their 20s, but I don't want to have sex with them, right? Haven't always been that way. When I was like a teenager, and also you know, when I was in my early 20s in birth certificate age, then, you know, I used to like guys who are about the same age or a bit older than me. But I found out in my discovery, in my journey, that I like younger guys, you know, specifically foreign guys more than anything, you know. And we're all different. You know, we're all different. So whatever your flavour of life is, or your flavour of people as friends, or to possibly be in a relationship with, or to be in a relationship with, we're all valid, you know, and it's much better to live your true, authentic life than be someone you're not. So going back to my best friend's other friend, she's a sexual cougar. She's like in her 60s and she has sex with guys in their 20s. They love her, you know. She has sexual lovers, they love it. She's got grown-up kids, she doesn't have any ties, she's not married, you know. So I think she might have been married years ago, I don't know, but I know she's single, you know, been single for a long time. So she just has fun with her life. She dresses how she wants to dress, she speaks how she wants to speak, which is bold, you know, bold, brave, bolshy, beautiful, bubbly, you know, big boobs and everything else, you know, and that's her, that's who she is. She's not sat there thinking, oh God, I can't look like this, I can't be like this, I can't do this because of what everyone else says. There are lots of younger guys, for example, that like older women. Lots of younger guys. I'm in a dating group, there's not an asexual one, and a lot of guys in there are like, oh yeah, I like older women, because, you know, they'd rather have someone who knows what they're talking about in their life. And they'd rather have someone who, you know, is not so insecure as, say, a 17, 19-year-old would be or something, and who, you know, has got life experience to help them in their own life, you know. And the young person can bring so much life to them. Like, I've got far more in common with younger guys, you know, far more in common with them, you know. And actually, a lot of the younger guys that I speak to in their 20s, or even in their early 30s, I talk to sometimes, they, you know, they are often older than I am in their lifestyle. They kind of like want to go in nature and put their slippers on and watch the television or movies. It's like, go work and I was like, really? I'm like, no. But some they usually they're a lot more interesting in terms of their job, in terms of their hobbies, their interests. They got a lot going on. I love that. I love their creativity about younger guys. I think they probably want to settle down more in the sense of the traditional settling down. Like have a home and just come home, watch TV, watch movies and like I think the younger they are, like I'm talking to guys 23, right? He's just my friend online. I don't think anything's ever going to happen like that. I think seriously, we just like each other as friends. And I mean, aesthetically, he's good looking, but I don't think we'd be any good to be in a relationship with. And he's just lovely. He's a lovely person to talk to. He does writing. I'm into writing. He's into volunteering work, and a lot of his life views are very similar to mine. You know. He's got very good ethics, very good morals, and he's working throughout his entire like university years and stuff. So he's got a lot of work experience. He's got quite a lot of life experience as well already. I remember like up to the age of 21, like a lot of my life experience happened before the age of 21, like up to 21. I had like the bulk of my experience of life happened up to then. So it's surprising how much experience you can have when you're so young, you know. And that's another thing. I don't like the ageism, like in the sense of like, oh, if you're this young, you can't have experienced life yet, or you can't have done this, that, and the other. Like I had a heck of a life up to the age of 21. Like I said, like my most experience of life happened up to that age, you know, in birth certificate age, right? But now I'm 21 in mindset, and I live like a teenager. It's awesome. So I had like the older life up to the age of 21 in birth certificate age. I had like the older life, the settled life, like have a job, have a partner. I was even engaged years ago, and like go out to work and just come home, watch TV and that. I did start writing a book years ago though. So I was always interested in writing. And I did have guinea pigs years ago. So, but it's much more of a kind of like settled down life, not that ambitious. Went to a job that I enjoyed, came home, you know, it's that type of life, you know. But there was a lot of things that happened in between in my past in terms of like moving out of my parents, the place I went to. There was a lot of things that happened there, which I'm thankful I'm alive now, because if things had turned out badly, I could be not here at the age of 19, but I saved myself, I saved myself and my ex. So that was really good. You know, I was like 19 when I did that. So yeah. So I was in a lot of, I moved into a house, which wasn't, this is not the last long-term ex, this is before. Moved into a house that was no good, bad people, really bad things happened there, you know. But like I said, you know, like now I'm more like shit happens, you know. That's the years ago. It's gone. But I look back now, think, God, how brave you were, how courageous, how awesome, you know. And so you know, we can reflect on the past and it can help us in the present. And, you know, I've always been good at getting myself out of situations and being mature. I was really, really mature for my age at a very, very young age. Like, it's really weird. It's like it's a different me. Like, I was older when I was younger in birth certificate age. I was so much older. I was living the really older life. I'm glad though that I had all that maturity, because I was able to deal with adult situations whilst I was 19 years old in birth certificate age, you know, very adult situations, and make snap decisions that were life-saving for me. Life-saving. Even in my early 20s in birth certificate age, I went through accidents and stuff. You know, so you know, a lot of it happened then. A lot of the stuff happened then, and it shaped who I am today. But now I'm kind of like, now I'm the young me. Now I'm on purpose the young me. I've got all that experience to help others, but I'm also like, you know, in 2012, I went to a personal professional development seminar. It's the first one I'd ever been to in my life. It was the year I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I went to this seminar, and this is where I saw Tony Robbins, who's an international, like, world-renowned coach, life coach, business coach. He's incredible. And he taught us to change our state, like our emotional state, for example, through movement and music. And that's when I just knew that was the answer, because I'd stopped being depressed, because I knew after 6 months of coming to terms with my fibromyalgia that if I was depressed, so all the pain from the depression and the negative self-talk would have put me on crutches or in a wheelchair, and that was something I was not prepared to have. Not prepared to have, right? I wanted to live my life to the max. So in that moment, I decided there is absolutely categorically no way I'm not going to live my life the way I want to lead it, the way I love it. So in that moment, I decided to go back to being the teenager I was always born to be and live the teenager life, to have everything in my home that would make me filled up, to have cuddly toys around me, to have beautiful sparkly hearts, to have pretty lights, to really be truly who I was born to be, which is this vibrant, energetic girl, you know? And to me now, my birth certificate age is literally just a piece of paper. It means that I'm alive, and that's fantastic. And I respect that. And I feel so happy to be alive. I actually really do love my life. And despite it's going up and down sometimes, even with my health lately, I absolutely love my life. I wouldn't change it for anything in this moment. Like, the only way I would change it is if, you know, like I was making a full-time living from writing, because I'm not making a full-time living from it at the moment. And that, you know, and in that way, but I believe everything happens for a reason. And the reason I'm not making a full-time living right now is because I need to write my books, but I need to do more stuff. And there's other brands I'm going to be bringing out this year, which I'm super excited about. Like my neurogenicity brand is going to be coming out in the next few months. And I'm going to be dating relationships coach for, you know, all sexualities on that channel. Predominantly it'll be heterosexuals as opposed to me doing this for asexuals, but I'll still be here as well. I'll be doing both. I'll be a dating coach for all sexualities, but obviously that's mostly going to be probably heterosexuals, because the only way I can get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation globally is if I talk to sexuals about it. So I'm still going to be asexual me over on that channel. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm really excited for it. I was scared, but now I'm a lot more excited for it, because I really can help, because, you know, and it'll be just dating relationships a lot of the time. I might do some personal professional development stuff as well, because obviously part of getting into a good relationship and being healthy is improving yourself and seeing what's wrong with yourself and how you can change what's wrong with yourself, and develop and grow yourself into the best version of you that you can possibly be. But, you know, right now in this moment, I wouldn't change anything in terms of, I do love my life. You know, yes, I have my health going up and down, but I always think it's there to tell you something. The reason your health goes up and down is there to teach you a lesson in life. It's there to help you. Maybe you just need a break, you know, and it is what it is. And sometimes things happen and, you know, it can cause you a bit of upset and pain, and then you just move on. And then something else might happen, you know, because I think a lot of the time with fibro especially is that emotional upset and pain can manifest itself in the body as physical pain. So, you know, you've just got to make sure that the people around you and your own mind and spirit is as high as possible, regardless of the circumstances outside. You know, I do absolutely love my life. I really do. I mean, I've got unicorns here. Right, I got beautiful Disney throw. I've got cuddly toys. I'm living my teenager life, and I've never been so happy in all my life. I would never give that up for being a typical, you know, like age I am in birth certificate age, and just sit here with magnolia walls, brown carpet or whatever, and I'm being very stereotypical here, and just like staring at like blank walls with no cuddly toys around, no sparkly things and stuff like that. You know, I'd be bored out my brain. I'd be like, okay. And I would just, you know, sit there watching TV all day. To me, that's a waste of life. It's not the life I want to lead. I was born for vibrancy, energy, creativity, happiness. I was born to be young all the time, you know. I've had my older version of me. Now this is the younger version of me, which I much prefer, because I'm happy. But I'm glad I was like that back then. I think I've like developed into the circumstances. So years ago, I had to be this kind of like person who was maturer and older in for their years. I've always been like that growing up, you know. So I've always got that background. I've always got that experience, and I can usually see a lot of things that other people can't see. But I'm not always as perceptive as I could be. But, and so I think, life is a journey of discovery, just as asexuality is a journey of discovery. Now let's go on to the next story. Right. So, Stephen, if you were to look back at your life, what advice would you have given to a younger version of yourself in regards to asexuality? Don't try and fit in with the popular crowd. Be who you are, not who you think you want to be. This is very important. It's very important to maintain your integrity and be true to who you are all the time. In a world that's trying to make you highly sexual, in a world that's trying to make you fit into a box, whatever type of box that is, right? Don't be what you think everyone else wants you to be, because you will not recognize who you are. You'll always be struggling in life. The one thing I know is that I'm true to who I am. I love myself for who I am implicitly. I love the way I look. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I love the way I look. I love the fact that I'm so honest. There's things I could do that wouldn't be so honest, that would get me different results, but I'm not going to do that. If I get any results in my life, I want them to come from a place of honesty, a place of love, a place of compassion for other human beings, a place where I am being who I'm born to be. That's what I decided in 2012, to literally be who I was born to be the beautiful teenager. That was, and ever since then, I've been a lot better. My mind has been much better. If I do have times when my mind goes down, I can get back up and recover usually a lot quicker. Sometimes it takes me longer, but overall I can recover a lot quicker than I used to be able to do, right? Which is probably why you see me going up and down my health, because it's like my health goes down, I bring it up again. My health goes down, I bring it up again. And this is how it is, It's been like that for a while, since November. It's like up and down, up and down, up and down. But the good thing is like when it's going up, I'm bringing it down. So it's better again, I'm bringing it down. I meant when it's going down, I'm bringing it up. Oh, you know what I mean. I'm just high on life at the moment, I shouldn't say when it's up, I'm bringing it down. I meant when my health is not in a good way, and that's up, I'm bringing it down to be in a better way, but it should be the opposite way around. See, oh man, my life is upside down. Literally, I love my life upside down as well. Like, I like working in the night and sleeping in the day. Like, I'm recording this in the daytime now for you, especially because I need to do some creative work tonight. I've got a lot to do. And I find that if I break off sometimes, I just can't get as much done as I want to do. Because I'm a bit like a moth, Moth is my insect totem. And I kind of like sleeping in the light, and I like waking up at night. Sleeping in the light and waking up at night, And so, and I've never been happier since, than when in 2012, when I completely changed my life and I realized music and movement's a big part of who I am, making me happy, and I love dancing, even if it's in my room here. And I just love being young. Age is completely how you think. The younger I think, the younger I feel, the younger I am. Like, so many people are getting plastic surgery, Botox, boob jobs, or whatever, and it's like, you don't need any of that. All you need to do is reprogram your mind to be younger, and you can be younger with the way you act, the way you dress, the way you think, the way you are. Doesn't mean to say you're not mature in your life experience, but it means that you don't stifle yourself into being the older person that society wishes you to be. And some people will get jealous of that. They'll be like, oh, why is she behaving like that at that age? It's like, go away. If you're so bothered about my life, then you're not focusing on your own. Something's wrong in your own. So go and sort your own life out, And, I think Stephen is so right. Don't try and fit in with the popular crowd. Be who you're born to be, I think asexuals overall, we do quite a good job of that, I know a load of asexuals love cuddly toys. I know a load of asexuals are quite young, in their outlook on life. And we do look a lot younger. I mean, I see other asexuals on other, like, for example, dating sites. And it's like, some asexuals look a lot younger than they actually are in birth certificate age. And I think it's because of all the sex we're not having. Someone even said to me in a message, like, why do you think asexuals look younger? I'm like, because it's of all, because, oh yeah, they said, I messaged me on ASAP, like, why are asexuals much younger? Like, why do they look younger? I said, it's because it's all the sex we're not having. Like, we're not wasting our energy over there. We're putting it into other things that make us happier and vibrant and bring us alive. And so that's why we've got so much more like youngness about us, I think, in general. I'm not saying everyone's like that. You do get some asexuals that look really much older than they are. Like, I'm talking to a nice person on ASAP. He's 25, who messaged me the other day. He's a really nice guy from what I know of him so far. And he's living his passions, which I really appreciate, you know. And he looks a lot older. Like, he looks at least 10 years older than he is, if not like more like, you know, 17 years older than he is, bless his heart. But you know, I've only just started talking to him recently, so you know, but I'm meeting some really nice people on ASAP. Like, I'm talking to that guy who's a newer guy that's come into my life, and two other guys on there. But again, I don't think any of them are going to be suitable for a relationship, because I just think we want different things in terms of relationship. But you never know, do you? But I think, you know, at least the two I've been talking to for a very long time, I don't think they'll be suitable. But like I said, every relationship that you're going to have, the one that's, or if you're polyamorous, if you want more than one, you know, every relationship that you're going to get into, the best type of relationship is one that's built on friendship, solid friendship, that you've known the person over a long time. I mean, even these two people I've been talking to for a while, it's still not a long time, you know, so I have lots to discover about them. But I hope to meet them in person one day. It would be fabulous if, you know, well, it'd be fabulous if I met all three of them in person. It'd be a wonderful experience, because they're really, you know, like, especially the two guys I've been talking to for a little while now, they're very decent guys, you know, very lovely people, very loving, caring people in their own right, you know. And that's what you want to be doing. You want to be building a tribe around you of people that support you. You want to be talking to asexuals who understand you. Not every asexual is going to vibe with you. You're not going to vibe with every other asexual. You know, there's going to be some that just don't fit with you. Right. But again, even within your asexuality, even within the asexual community, don't try and be something you're not just to fit in with the asexual community. Do you know what I mean? Because some groups, asexual groups, I'm quite horrified to see how they do in, you know, discriminate about sexual, you know, certain parts of the asexual spectrum, or certain sexual orientations in general. You know, like, every life matters. Just because I'm asexual, not heterosexual, doesn't mean to say I don't respect heterosexuals. Also, you know, people on the asexual spectrum, you know, we should all be respected. This book, if you haven't got a copy already, by the way, do please click download in the description and grab yourself a copy of Asexual Perspectives. You know, this is to celebrate our diversity across the asexual spectrum, our differences within it. We're all valid in our own way, you know. We're all different, and it's really good, you know. Like Stephen said, don't try and fit into a box, you know. That's could be an asexual box, or it could be society's box for you. Be who you are. You know, be who you are. People won't like it because they can't be themselves. They think of themselves, oh, people won't like me, people won't love me, I can't, you know. But that's just that insecurity, you know. If people don't like and love you for who you are, sod them, right? Walk away. You know, if you need to change yourself in order to better yourself, and you think that there's something wrong with you genuinely, not because you're trying to fit in, but because there's certain things about yourself you can improve, then of course you should go and do that. But you should do it first and foremost for yourself, not to please someone else. Because if you do it to please someone else, you are never, ever going to make that change stick and be happy about it. You know, like, I've changed myself for the better, right? I saw things in myself in the past that I didn't like about myself that I've changed, You know, I love myself loads now, you know. I like spending time with me. I like dating me. God, I want to go out on a date to the cinema with myself, and I can't do it because it's shut. It's like, I want to date myself more. I don't mind dating myself at home, but I really want to go out on a date, you know. It's like, I want to get dressed up, go out on a date with myself. Come on, with some popcorn or something, you know. I really need a date right now, you know. It's one of those date days. Um, but yeah, it's really important to be who you are, love your life, be the true person you were born to be, whether that's an older soul, a younger soul, whether that's asexual, or you're listening to this right now and you're not asexual, you know? My asexuality isn't normal. It doesn't fit into a normal box, but I am who I am, you know? And someday, in terms of relationship, I'm going to get a guy that's like, my God, you're exactly for me. Wow, you know, we're so alike. We're so different to most other asexuals, but we're so alike, you know? Um, you know, I've got this huge, like, kind of erogenous side to me with the guy's upper body, you know, and I think that's something to be embraced and for me to actually express myself more, you know, and I just love public displays of affection, you know, I like that freedom. I love the freedom of just being able to kiss my guy and hold his hand. I haven't got a guy at the moment. This is like, you know, this is like the type of relationship I love, and kissing and cuddling and just like, my ex was 3.5 years younger than me, but he looked about 11. Well, that's long-term ex, that was. So yeah, but I just love it, you know. And that was in birth certificate, by the way, you know. So yeah, I love my life. I think it's incredible. I think I'm glad and grateful for all the experiences I had, even though some of them weren't great at all. You know, I think the past is the past for a reason, not just because it's your past, but I think it's something to learn from. And like Stephen said, you know, don't fit in, but you know, Stephen learned that later on in his life by looking back at his past, really. So sometimes the past is there to teach us about the present and future, but we shouldn't like live in the past. It's good to like let all that go and just use it for experience purposes, you know. But we connect with other people by sharing our experiences of the world, by sharing our past lives, you know. I personally am glad I tried sex. I'm glad I tried it with more than one person, because that's just who I am. That's just me as a person. I think it's good if you kept your virginity for yourself. I think it's good if you know you never want sex without even trying it, because you're not missing anything. I have to say, you know, I'm just glad I had those experiences, you know, because I do experience arousal despite not experiencing sexual attraction. So I've got those grey areas, and I'm glad I know now. I'm glad I completely recognise the difference between arousal and sexual attraction. I didn't know that years ago about me. That was a huge discovery, you know. But I just think it's beautiful to be in life. I think we're so lucky to be alive right now, even if the world is crazy. In July 2020, we're recording this. I think it's really important to celebrate our diversity across the asexual spectrum, our differences within it. Our differences is our beauty. Always remember that your difference is your beauty, and others will love you for it, being your true, authentic self. They will love you for who you are once you love yourself for who you are. Very, very important. And anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would very, very much appreciate it. I know there's someone who's been watching all the way through this, so I love you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you to everyone else who's tuned in today. I really appreciate it. If you want to share any of your own advice to a younger version of yourself in order to help other asexuals or anyone who might come across this channel, please put them below in the comments. I always love to hear your comments. I read every single one I possibly can and reply to them. Obviously, if they're spam, then they go and well, I mean, spam, you know, you get these people going, hot girls. It's like, yeah, I may be a hot girl, thanks very much, but I'm not interested in having links like that on my YouTube channel. So you know what I mean. Anyway, you know, so yeah, I know I love responding to all the asexuals, or people who think they might be asexual, people that are just interested in asexuality, or people that have got questions, as much as I possibly can. I love always to be here for you. Be your own bright shining star. Be true to who you are. Ask yourself the question, am I being my true authentic self, or am I being what someone else wishes me to be? Am I forcing myself to be someone I'm not just to please someone else because they'll be ashamed of me or think bad of me? Always be your true authentic self. Go towards the light, which is who you truly are, not towards the dark, which is someone who you're truly not. Go towards the light, that shining bright light, that star that is within you. Go towards that always, however difficult it may seem, however many times you may get burnt or stung in life. Stay true to who you are, because if you don't, it will destabilize you. Even if the road ahead is rocky, because you're being your true authentic self, you will love yourself in spite of what others say. If you deceive yourself, if you betray yourself, if you be someone you're not for the sake of what other people want you to be, you will always be anxious and worried about who you are, and you won't fully love yourself. You'll hate yourself for pushing yourself to be something that you're not. And I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. You shouldn't want that for you, right? So just be in the moment with yourself. Love yourself for who you are. No matter what comes your way. If people hate you, they hate you. If people despise you, they despise you. If people love you, they love you. Whatever they feel about you is not your concern. What's your concern is the way you feel about you. You have to live with yourself. You have to have a conscience about yourself. You know, I'm a very ethical and moral person, right? I value integrity. I value honesty. I value authenticity over money and power, for example. I did a test years ago and I'm motivated by responsibility, first of all, sense of achievement, and 3, money. So I'm not saying I'm not motivated by money at all in my life. But a sense of responsibility is what I feel for asexuals. I feel a huge responsibility to help you out. I feel I was given this gift by God. That's my life purpose, obviously writing, and then to help asexuals and specifically get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation globally, so that no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. That's a big ask of anyone, right? And with my erogenicity brand, which will be predominantly for sexuals, I'll be able to break through those barriers like nothing else before. You know, it's going to be a beautiful challenge that I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to helping sexuals as well, because the more I help sexuals, the more I can help asexuals. You know, I just know that's how it's going to work. And I'm getting really excited for that channel now as well. So it's going to be quite strange. Asexuality, heterosexuality. But it's going to be amazing. You know, if anyone can do it, I can, because I'm quirky and different. You know what I'm like? And I think it's about time heterosexuality met asexuality face to face. You know, and we help each other. You know, and so yeah, I feel like I'm in a prayer position now. I don't know why, because I'm saying thanks to God, I think, and thanks to every, you know, one in the universe and world that's made everything I am now possible. You know, I feel like although I'm me, I've been helped so much by experiences in life that other people aren't even fortunate enough to have. You know, I don't measure success by money. I measure success by the amount of responsibility and sense of achievement I've had, you know, in life. And I've had so much of that. I've achieved so much. I had so many times in life that I might not have even been here. And I'm here to this day and I'm living it. And it's beautiful light in this room. And it's just gorgeous life, you know. And I have gorgeous, wonderful friends. And I have people even like I've met recently in the last couple of months on ASAP that have just kept in touch with me, that are sharing their life with me, that are expressing themselves openly and honestly and authentically. You know, the 2 guys I've been talking to, they are really who they truly are. I don't feel they're hiding anything. I feel like they're being who they are. I think they're being their beautiful selves. I love individuals who are their beautiful selves. I'm attracted to that, even if they're very different to me. You know, if they're kind and caring hearts, if they're understanding, if they're compassionate, if they are literally lifting me up as a friend and I'm lifting them up as a friend, that's who I appreciate being in my life. You know, the 2 individuals I'm talking now are very, very different to me in some ways, you know, but they are so beautiful souls. I'm so glad I'm in this life right now. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so happy to be in this journey of discovery. You know, the world outside is pretty crazy at the moment, but within our hearts, we must emit love. We must give love to those who really need it, you know, really need it. And we must shine our beautiful, authentic individuality out to the world. The world needs difference now. They're sick of hearing the same old thing. They're realizing now that the world isn't as they originally know it to be. This is the time that asexuality can come forward and rise. This is the time that they can see that things aren't as they were programmed from a young age to believe they're meant to be. Right? This includes asexuality, being a sexual orientation they didn't be aware of. People are going to be more open to asexuality these days in general because they know that the world mass media is playing tricks on them, instilling fear in them, not knowing what to believe, you know? And so therefore they're more likely to question how they've been brought up and how they've been conditioned by society. Therefore they're more likely to be accepting and opening to different possibilities and different ways of thinking. So now is the time that asexuals need to rise. We need to rise and be our beautiful asexual selves more than ever. Now is the time to seize the moment, and now is the time to love ourselves with all our hearts, to comfort each other in our times of need, to be with each other for all eternity in a beautiful, beautiful butterfly of aceness, and to just truly, truly live into our own. Truly, truly be who we were born to be, not something or someone who someone else wants us to be. Why are people even trying to make you something you're not? What is the matter with those people? You should be asking yourself, not you. I love you for who you are. I love me for who I am. I love my friends for who they are. You know, and I love the normal crazy times, you know. But, you know, the world is crazy now and we're not. We're the actual same ones, you know. So anyway, just keep being you, you know. When you look back at your life, try to not have regrets. Just think everything happens for a reason. The reason will reveal itself later on, and it makes you into a stronger, more vibrant, energetic person. Just rise above the past and live in the present moment and look forward, yes, forward to a fantastic future. Because I'm telling you now, the storms may have come, but they will go again, and we will rise as asexuals and rise as people again. You know, and people will be thinking about different things. They will be reflecting and seeing their life differently. They will come out of this programmed, conditioned thinking more and be more free thinking if they allow themselves to be. Of course, you'll always get the people that have got blinkers on because it makes them uncomfortable else. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, blink, 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 blinkers, you know. But there's people that are more open to seeing now that the world isn't as they thought it was originally meant to be. You know, which means I'll be more open to seeing that the sexuality isn't what you thought it was. Asexuality exists, it's real. You know, there are people that genuinely don't want sex. That's what I'm here to bring to the table of life. You know, the table of life. No, asexuality is literally mind-blowing. I've never ever been so happier to be asexual than right now in this moment. I love being asexual. And I want to light up the world with our asexual beauty like never before. People need to know now is the time to seize the moment and seize the day. And let people know that asexuals really do exist. There are people that can love, be happy and healthy in relationships and friendships without sex. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. I could talk for ages because I'm so happy to be here. Anyway, if you've got any questions, comments, queries, as always, pop them down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. If you want to share this video with anyone you think may benefit from the content today, please do. If you're still like at home, you're not working at the moment, you've got some spare time, grab a seat and spend an hour or a bit over an hour with me. Go back through this video, see what golden nuggets are in there for you, and really just enjoy every single minute of every single day because it's so wonderful you're here. Anyway, until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Give this video a thumbs up, like I say. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share to anyone you think needs to hear this right now. And once you've subscribed, hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to grab a copy of Asexual Perspectives. This book is the biz when it comes to knowing about asexuality. Everything you could possibly want to know initially about asexuality, the asexual spectrum, is in this book. All your questions are answered. All your questions are answered. All the, differences between sexual desire, sexual attraction, arousal, are asexuals into BDSM, kinks, fetishes, masturbation, how would relationship work with another asexual, with a sexual? All those answers are in this book. So go and grab your copy now. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream, which will be tomorrow now, because I've done this video earlier. So take care and embrace your quirky and each other's. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Lots of love. Bye-bye.